Okay, it is November 7th, and I'm broadcasting from the Vendasta headquarters in now snowy Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Thanks for joining. Today's webinar is all about PinnacleCart, an e-commerce platform designed for growth. And PinnacleCart is actually available in the marketplace starting today. My name is Cam. I am a product marketing manager here at Vendasta, and today I have two special guests from PinnacleCart, Craig Fox and Jeff Little. Hi, Craig and Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us today.
All right. Hey, Cam, this is Jeff and everybody. Really excited to show you the PinnacleCart platform. We're great to be here.
All right, so before I hand over the controls, just a few reminders for our audience. As usual, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat box. We will try to get to your questions towards the end of the webinar. Otherwise, I will personally follow up with you after. And with that, Craig and Jeff were really excited to hear all about PinnacleCart, so take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Cam. Appreciate that. I hope everybody can see my screen. Hey everybody, my name is Cam said, my name is Craig Fox and I'm here on the marketing end of PinnacleCart, and we really appreciate everybody taking the time to learn about our application today. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about PinnacleCart, what it is and what it does. So PinnacleCart is really a complete online store builder and order management solution. So it does really everything soup to nuts for people that are looking and companies that are looking to sell online. So it manages the front of the store, it creates the front of the store for them, it allows people to upload products, it manages the shipping, the taxes, the payment, everything surrounding an e-commerce transaction. The company and the application have been around for over 15 years now, and through that time we've been able to accumulate close to 400 different features that have been put into the application. Now, everything that we've developed over the course of that time has really been designed for three specific things. One is to increase organic traffic into that storefront. We want to make sure that the stores that and the companies that go onto the platform are as successful as possible. The other one is to increase conversions. So, you know, when people are on our client stores, we want to make sure that they're able to find the products that they're looking for and then convert into a sale. And then the other thing is to increase the average sale amount. So, you know, for the benefit of the store owners, we want to make sure that when someone does check out or buys a product, that, you know, that dollar amount is as high as possible with the most profitable items that they're selling. Like I said, we started in 2004 and we currently have close to 10,000 clients that are using the application. Companies from all across the range, you know, from startups all the way to companies like Corona, PGA, HBO, and more. So it's kind of been an exciting journey for us. You know, we've had some pretty interesting clients that we've had to deal with over the years. One of my favorite ones was a company by the name of Bob's Beer Can Bobbers, who I really enjoyed working with. One of the kind of neat things about our application is that there is no technical experience required to run it. You can build your store on PinnacleCart with knowing no or very little coding to get that up and running, and you can make it match the exact look of your current brand. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a little bit. One other thing I want to mention before we kind of move into some of our feature set is we are a fully PCI compliant solution and DA or PADSS solution. So really what that means is we are level 1, and when someone transacts on the system, their payment information and their personal information is secure to meet the credit card standards. So with that, let me dive into some of the features that are in the application.
We should tell the audience that we're not going into all 400 because we have a short time span here.
Well, I'm going to give it a shot, Jeff, if you don't mind.
Okay,
I think we can get through it in 400. Sure. So PinnacleCart, from the store design perspective, when you log into the application, you're presented with up to 40 fully customizable templates. And we have a point and click environment that you're allowed to build these templates in. So you can upload your logo, You can change the font, you can change text, you can do all these sort of things. And over here on the right-hand side of my screen, you can see some of the available themes that we have, and we'll see some more when we walk into the demo. And like I said, it has a very simple point and click store builder environment for setting that up. If you're a merchant that has video that you want to add, or you have stuff on YouTube that you want to put into your application onto the front home page or into some of the product page, it fully supports that. It fully supports PDF downloads. It really fully supports any other type of electronic files that you want to add to your storefront. Now, if you are the type of person, or you work with people that do want to get in there and tinker with that front end code, we do have a file manager that allows you to do that. So you can make customizations to the front end and to the back end of your site too, through the file manager, if you so see fit. All of our templates are built using responsive design. So for those of you not familiar with that term, what that means is all the stores are going to look great on desktop, they're going to look great in a tablet, and they're also going to look great in mobile by default. All right, so on the product side, there is an area in the control panel where you can go in there and start uploading your products. And PinnacleCart supports both physical and downloadable products. So if you're selling ebooks or anything like that, the application will support it. It will create a unique URL for the customers that have bought those products, and they can click on it, and we can manage the number of times that product is downloaded. And the number of times that customers viewed that product. But the real strength resides obviously in the physical products. And we have yet to come across the physical product that the application doesn't support. One of the other things that it does is it has what we call product variants or product attributes. So if I was selling t-shirts, my t-shirts might be blue, green, orange, and pink. Well, those are going to be product variants. It's going to have large, extra large, medium, small, and those are going to be product variants. And what's sort of unique about the platform is using those variants, I can control the pricing and I can control the shipping amount. So if I have an extra large t-shirt that maybe weighs a little bit more than a small, I can add $1 onto shipping if I want to through the back of the control panel, and that will show to the visitor when they check out.
One thing to note on there too, Craig, because I've worked with a lot of different platforms. That's my job, is to help integrate and transition partners as well as customers over. Our product attribute system not only works at the base product level, but you can create global product attributes and assign them either to products specifically, as in groups, or even to categories. So it really makes building and deploying those product attributes and or those combination of variants almost a one-click step. So instead of having to toil with adding those attributes to multiple products, you can create once and deploy many.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we have a lot of clients that use it, especially when it comes to the clothing. You don't want to keep continuing to put in small, medium, large, extra large, stuff like that. You can create a global product attribute and then just apply that to all the products in the category of the store, whatever you see fit. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. The other thing that comes included with the application is inventory management. So when you set that up, you can put in the number of items that you have in stock. And when those items go out, or when those items start getting low, you're going to be notified. And you can also manage how those items are controlled when inventory starts going low or when it is out of stock. Some people want to remove it from the cart. Some people want to remove it from the store. Some businesses want to make it so that they can continue to order it, but it's just placed on back order. And you can control that inventory down to the attribute level. So if I have a t-shirt that's blue and that's extra large, I can control inventory down to that finite of a level within the application. You can upload as many product images as you like, and we have some interesting image manipulation tools that we have in the application. So if you want to put a little magnifying glass on your image, you can do that. We also have an internal thumbnail generator that we use, or if you want to put some type of light box or anything like that on your products, on the product pages, the application allows you to do that.
One thing I think that it's important to note here that differs from other systems is when you upload that base level product image, we preserve the original, and our thumbnail generator that will generate your product image all the way down to the category and thumbnail images that display across the site are regenerated off the original image. So what this means is if you decide at a later date to change or shrink the images and regenerate the images, it's non-destructive. We keep your original image. And there's also a button to click to web optimize. And so the reason that's an optional there too, just in case for someone that may wonder why we choose to make that, you don't want to re-optimize an optimized image, but for the layperson, they typically will upload an unoptimized image. And so we provide that facility to help increase their site speed and reduce the bandwidth that's needed.
Great point, Jeff. Thanks. One other thing I wanted to mention too is if you have a spreadsheet, and a lot of our clients do, they have just a spreadsheet full of their products. Through PinnacleCart, you can use our bulk uploader, bulk product and image uploader. So what you can do is you can take a spreadsheet in any format. You're going to upload that, and you're going to tell PinnacleCart what columns mean what, which is very simple to do, and then it'll automatically update all the products or add those products to the system. And you can do the same with the images. We either have a system where you can click on all the images off your desktop, or you can just move it into a particular folder. And as Jeff said, it will manage those images correctly to make that happen. Go ahead, Jeff.
And even in the product manager, for simple things like price adjustments or changing inventory quantities and such, we have a bulk editor inside the product. So you can go through and select items that start with a specific SKU or a specific name or belong to a certain category or even a manufacturer, select them, and inside the cart, without having to do anything, you can do a bulk edit to a lot of the attributes on the actual products themselves. So you can make bulk changes to price, for example, either by dollar increments up or down, or even a percentage of increase up or down, which makes doing price adjustments for stock and even inventory adjustments very easy.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. So another feature that we have in there is product promotions. And obviously, if I'm selling products, I want to do everything that I possibly can to get those products sold. So there's a lot of features that we have in there that surrounding this. And I wanted to go through a couple of them with you today. One of them is that the application does support gift certificates. So if I'm looking to sell those types of things, it's fully automated. When someone purchases, that individual that not the individual that purchased it, usually they'll want to send it to somebody else. We'll send them a unique code, and that unique code's worth whatever the value of the gift certificate purchase was. You have the ability to create recommended products in there too. So if I'm selling a computer, for example, I might want to create, we call them product families, but product families around that computer. So maybe it's mice, maybe it's monitors, maybe it's keyboards and stuff like that. So when someone's on that product page, looking at the computer, I can be recommending other items that may interest them. We can also do this through the checkout area of the application, which I'll get into in a second. You have the ability to offer quantity discounts. So I can make it so that if someone bought 3 of my t-shirts, they're going to get a dollar amount or a percentage off. And on the product page, I can make it very prominent so people understand that that type of promotion is going on. We also have a buy X, get Y free, which I'm sure you've seen in a lot of other stores that are online. You have the ability to set up those types of product promotions. One of my favorites is customers who bought Y also bought X. The system, you kind of turn that on within PinnacleCart, and as the system starts understanding the purchases, it'll start making its own recommendations based on what other customers have purchased. One of the more powerful ones is anyone in e-commerce is aware is the capability of building out free shipping promotions. So if you buy 3 of these, you're going to get free shipping, or if you buy 4 of these, you'll get free shipping on this product. And you have the capability of creating those types of promotions. We have QR codes also in the back, and then we also have promotional codes. So if there's a particular customer you want to give 10% off, you can send over that code, and at checkout they can enter in that code, and they'll get the designated amount off that order total during purchase.
And the promo codes themselves too can be applied to shipping. They can be applied to specific products, and they can be applied globally. So you can actually narrow down discreetly promo codes down to a few select products or even one product, or you can leave it globally open and make it if you spend $100 you get free shipping, or you spend $100 you get 10% off. So there's a lot of different variations, and as you would expect in a promo code, there's a concept of a lifespan, right? When it starts and when it ends, and there are unique codes. And you can even create the ability from the customer standpoint, they can only use it one time. So that's nice.
You know, and this isn't directly related to promotional codes, but I wasn't able to create this in the deck, but you have the ability to set up customer groups too. So if you have a group that maybe are wholesalers that you want to sell to and they have a different price point than your retail customers, you have the capability of setting that up within PinnacleCart. Or if you have a group of customers that are your special customers, you can make it so that when they log in, they can see all your products at 10%, and you can control that, or 10% off, and you can control that right down to the product level if you want to do that. So that's kind of a very interesting and well-used feature within the application too. The platform is search engine optimized from an on-page optimization standpoint. It has been rated as one of the top SEO e-commerce platforms on the market, and we work with e-commerce, or excuse me, SEO experts as we're building out the platform. It allows the merchants to build custom URLs, which we all know are very important for a high ranking within all the major search engines out there. You have the ability to create your own custom meta tags, or the application will build meta tags for you based on the product descriptions that you've given it. And that all happens automatically. It'll build the sitemap that you can submit to Google Search Console. Everything there is valid WC3 design. And also we support the schema.org product support, which is important for Google. And also we support reviews. So, which I really haven't gotten into yet. I think it's in the next slide, is there is product reviews in here. And as those reviews start coming in, and they are moderated, by the way, as those reviews start coming in, you want to make sure that those reviews will show in Google and will show in Bing. So we support their requirements to make that happen. All right, so on the payments, obviously the most important thing from the business perspective is collecting that money from the individual that's checking out. PinnacleCart has over 30 different payment systems included in it. PayPal, Stripe, Chase, Authorize.net are some of the few well-known ones, but we have WorldPay. The list kind of goes on. And by the way, you can go to the website, or you can go within the Vendasta marketing area, and you can see a list of those payment gateways that are supported. I'm just kind of listing some of the more popular ones. We do have international methods out there, 3 or 4 that can transact really globally, WorldPay being one of them. One of the more interesting things that it does is it allows for multiple payment methods at checkout. So it happens every once in a while, your primary payment platform or payment gateway will not be available. And what you can do is you can set it up so that if you can't accept credit cards, for example, on the Authorize.net payment system, you can make it so that PayPal shows, or you can make it so that Braintree or something else shows to ensure that that individual can complete the order that he's trying to complete. Or you can just give them an option. Some people prefer to pay via PayPal, and other people prefer to pay via credit card. And we always recommend to our clients that they do set up a multiple payment method once they get the platform up and running. So within the PinnacleCart application, that comes included in the advanced package is recurring billing. So if you work with clients that do BarkBox or Fruit of the Month Club or something like that, you have the capability of doing it all within the application. What happens is you just set up that product, you tell PinnacleCart how often that product is going to re-incur, whether it's going to be a week or something like that. In the application, once that order has been purchased, the application will notify you that it's time to ship that product out to the customer, and then it'll manage everything around that recurring transaction. The customers have, you know, in the recurring realm especially, the customers have the capability of logging in to the My Account area through the front of the application and managing that recurring transaction all automatically. So if they want to update their credit card, or they want to cancel it or anything like that, they have the capability of doing that through the My Account area of the front end of PinnacleCart. And that's a really, really powerful feature. I know that other carts have it, but it's a pretty significant add-on um, to their application. You also have the ability to set up offline payments. So, you know, sometimes you'll have a client that only wants to work in a regional area, and he wants people to come into his store to make the payment. So what he wants to do is allow someone to purchase something and then, you know, come into the store and complete it. We also have the capability of doing cash on delivery and really any other payment methodology that they want to use.
And
Everything.
I kind of want to circle back on as it relates to payments and wholesale, because we briefly touched on it, but you know, we do have a lot of customers that are B2B, and they typically can't process payments until they've figured out the logistics of shipping, because they're moving large quantities. It's not a play where someone's buying a shoe or a shirt. They're buying pallets of things. So we actually have the ability to capture the cards through a PADSS certified, we call it credit card storage. And you can do after the fact payments. You can collect the credit cards from the customer and process them after you know the shipping, after you know everything that's set up for logistics, and then process the order then. So that's important to note too, because this way you have the ability to collect the card and charge once you know all the logistics are set up.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. And then you have the ability to cancel orders, you know, manage refunds and things like that, all through the back of the PinnacleCart control panel. All right, let's talk a little bit about shipping. Obviously, most e-commerce companies out there, this is a pretty important part of that process. So PinnacleCart supports all major shipping companies here in the US. And really, when we say support, what it means is we have the capability of doing a real-time rating from those entities. So an example of that, which is over here on the right-hand side, is we can make it so that you come into the control panel, you set up that you want to use FedEx, and these are the types of methods that you want to use. You connect into the FedEx system by putting in their username and password. And now when anybody starts to go through the checkout process on the front of your store, they're going to be presented with those types of payment options, and they're going to have the capability of selecting what methodology works for them, whether that be 2-day, overnight, ground. You can do combined methodologies too. So I can combine USPS with FedEx or UPS. I can add them all in and add all the features and create a laundry selection if I want to, whatever works for your business. Some businesses have a preferred vendor when it comes to shipping. You just put in, you know, your account username and password that you have for that vendor, and then it will automatically lock it together and you'll be getting real-time rates instantly. If you don't have a relationship with one of the major providers, you can use a custom shipping method. So what you do is just go into the application and you can kind of create a shipping table, and you can manage that by price. So I can make it so that if an order is from $1 to $50, charge them this much for shipping. I can do it by weight. So of the total cart weight is 1 to 7 pounds, charge this much for shipping. I can do it by a region. I can do it by flat. I can do it by products. I can say this particular product here, I want to make sure that we're charging $2 for shipping. And obviously I can make it so that there is no shipping being charged when someone checks out. You also have the capability of doing split shipping. So if the customer is checked out and he wants to send some items over to this address and some other items over to another address, the application will support that. There's a lot of different features built into the shipping module. Some companies want to charge handling fees. They want shipping to be taxed. They want to have the capability of letting the customer select free shipping depending on how that order went during checkout. You can actually put in hidden increases. So what we can do is if you want to make a little bit of profit on the shipping, we can make it so that whatever the rate comes in from FedEx, we can up that 5% or 10%. So that is shown to the customer. We can do shipping quotes. So this is very useful for people that don't want to go through the checkout process to get to shipping. What they can do is on the cart page, they can just, once activated, they can put in their zip code, and PinnacleCart will give an estimation as to what that shipping rate is going to be. And then you can also set up carrier priority. So if I favor FedEx over USPS, I can let the application know that, and it'll present those rates at the top.
One thing that's great there too, I just thought of is because we somewhat overlook it because it works well for service businesses and florists, that we actually support local delivery. So there's a module in there where you can start blocking off provinces or zip codes and actually determine different rates and delivery times and a delivery availability for that. So for a florist may be able to deliver within a 10-mile radius of their shop for no charge, and then anything out of there they may charge $25, and it might be a shorter window. So we actually support that too in an advanced feature. It's really nice.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff. So as I talked about at the front of the presentation, we have close to 400 different features there, so we're not going to be able to get into everything, but I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a laundry list of some of the other features that I think might be important to the agencies. One of them is we can support taxes, obviously US-based taxes we have in there, but we also support VAT tax, European tax, and really we haven't come across a taxing structure that we haven't been able to support within the application. For those that have complex tax structures, we work with different partners. So we have a company called Exactor that you can put in your username and password, and then you control some advanced taxing structure there. Or Avatax is another one that we support, which is kind of the industry leader in taxation. And those systems for clients that are doing high volume work really, really well because they have to be reporting to the IRS, and those systems will manage everything down to the finite detail for them. Now, our reporting system will help them with that. It's just what level of detail do they need and things like that. And the reason that I bring that up is because we've had some clients that have done some pretty funky things when it comes to taxes. For example, liquor. Well, when it comes to liquor, there's different taxations based literally on street in some cases, in some cities and in some regions. So in those cases, the application, nor is any application going to be able to handle it to that level. And that's where companies like Exactor and Avatax will come in and kind of complement the systems. The platform is multi-country, and it also is multi-currency, and it'll transact in whatever currency you designate as your default one. So if I have people coming in from somewhere within the European Union, they can see euros, and I can make it so when the time comes to check out that it's transacting in USD or transacting in the native currency, whatever works. One thing I did want to mention is a lot of people are already up and running with an e-commerce store. They're just not satisfied with the results. So we have a free replatforming tool with a limited number of products. So if we can move somebody over from another application, Woo, Shopify, BigCommerce, or something like that, and we can move them into PinnacleCart, and we can do that for the most part anyways, for free, depending on the number of items and orders that they currently have in their system. And in the replatforming feature that we have, it supports, I think, close to 350 carts now. So the other thing is we work with a number of third parties and industry leaders in particular areas. So one of the big ones is QuickBooks, and a lot of small businesses, I believe close to 70% of all small businesses are running QuickBooks. And we have a feature where we'll automatically plug into it. Just put in your username and password, and we can make it so that all orders and products sync up with their instance of QuickBooks automatically. It's a really great feature. It allows and saves a lot of time for small businesses. We also work with MailChimp. We support the full Google suite. So that's Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, everything like that. Google Search Console is all built into the application just by putting in your UA codes and some other information. Stamps.com is another big one from the shipping perspective, and we fully integrate and support that. And actually, we support close to 50 other add-ons, all of which can be found at apps.pinnaclecart.com. So if you're interested in really what you can bring in there and work with, you can view that at apps.pinnaclecart. And we also have an app center in the control panel of the application. So they can just click on it, enter in the information that they need to sync up with that system, and they're locked and loaded and ready to go.
And actually, for those that are accept code sniglets. In the past, you'd had to go into the framework of the site, and whether it's the header, the footer, or even across different pages of the site, put in code sniglets. Our system actually has a built-in, like a Google tool manager, so you can create sniglets for code. So if you go to apps.pinnaclecart as an example, and you're looking for a chat provider, and you're like, well, I'd rather use this one, as long as they support extending that out with a code, like a JavaScript code, you can actually put that on the cart. You tell the cart exactly where it needs to be placed and on where you want to present that live chat, maybe only in the homepage, maybe only at checkout, maybe only on product pages or all the site. So we give you that flexibility to quickly put in third-party preventers that are code-driven, and you can place that right on the site instantly.
Yeah, great. So one of the other things I'd mentioned in one of the prior slides is there's a full product reviews suite in there, and the merchant has the capability of managing how those product reviews are being done. Now, obviously, product reviews are very, very important, and we recommend that everybody have them activated. But some merchants don't want people coming in and reviewing products that they haven't purchased. Some merchants don't want people coming in and just posting automatically to the site without them being able to edit or at least review it before it goes. And within the suite, you have complete control over how those product reviews are being managed. And actually, you have the capability of even changing the stars to thumbs up, or whatever it may be that you want to put in for your product reviews. One of the very, very important features that I believe that's in the application is what we call product syndication. So obviously, your goal is to have people come to your storefront and make purchases, but we know when we take a look at where the increases are happening in traffic, companies like Amazon, companies like eBay are starting to garner the lion's share of traffic, and they're starting to get the higher increases incrementally when it comes to traffic. So we, as a merchant, especially a small merchant, want to partner with those companies and make sure that my products are listed on those high traffic sites. And what we can do using product syndication is I can upload my product into PinnacleCart, and then I can create files that will work within Amazon and will work within eBay. And another one is obviously Google Shopping. And we have a number of different syndication partners that we use to ensure that we get the most exposure of those products for the businesses that run PinnacleCart. Another one that I did want to mention that used to be big a couple years ago, but is dying a little bit, is you have the capability of creating a Facebook store. You don't transact on that store, but you can make it so that all of your products, you can build a shop tab, and then all your products can be moved into that storefront. This used to be a big thing a couple years ago, probably a little bit more than a couple years ago, but there are some customers that still want to have those items listed on their Facebook shop area, and you have the capability of doing that, and that's all included within the applications. One of the other things I wanted to mention was a widget feature. So sometimes you'll have a partnership with a company that's doing blogs, and they'll be talking about your product, and you want to have that product listed maybe on the right-hand side of that blog article that's discussing the product. Well, using product widgets, you can. What you can do through the control panel is you can build a little HTML sniglet, I believe was the technical term Jeff used, and then you can place that sniglet onto that WordPress site and the product will appear. It's a pretty slick little feature, especially when you have partners that do those types of things from a marketing perspective. And when that customer clicks on it, they will of course go to the product page on your website, and they will be able to transact and complete that order. Also included in the base package of PinnacleCart is cart abandonment recovery. So if a person has loaded up their cart and they've got close to $1,000 or whatever the dollar amount is, and for some reason they get pulled away from their computer to finish dinner or whatever and forget to come back, the cart will remind them that they have that cart ready to go and that they should continue the checkout process and complete the order. And this is done via email. And the merchant has complete capabilities and complete control over how that cart abandonment works. So if you want to fire off that email within 5 minutes of abandonment, you can do that. And you can control all the text that is in that email along with the cart ready to go, so they can just click on it and check out. I've seen merchants that have extended this a couple weeks. And really what we do is we recommend combining some feature sets. So I can make it so that after a week, a cart abandonment email goes out, and then I put in a discount code to give them 10% to create that little extra oomph to get them over the edge to complete that order. So that is in there too. So if you're planning on using PinnacleCart, this is a pretty important slide. So if you're going to go and start taking a look, there's a lot of different e-commerce applications out there, and some of the more familiar ones are Shopify, BigCommerce, 3D Cart, stuff like that. When you take a look at review sites, what you need to understand is a lot of them are paid review sites. So the people with the most money in the deepest pockets tend to come up number one. So in a lot of review sites out there, you're going to see Shopify and companies like BigCommerce come in number one. Keep in mind that PinnacleCart is absolutely on par, if not better, from a feature set standpoint with these types of applications. One of the only true independent ones is a company by the name of PC Magazine. PC Magazine takes no money. PC Magazine accepts no affiliate programs. PC Magazine doesn't do anything in that type of realm when it comes to business. And it rates PinnacleCart as the number one e-commerce application for 2019. Actually, we held it in 2018 too. So this is pretty important to understand. You know, you're selling an application that independently is rated by some very intelligent people as the top e-commerce application in the world. So I wanted to have a slide that kind of talked briefly about some of the unique selling points of PinnacleCart. You know, there's going to be some PDFs and stuff in the marketing area that you guys can use to pass on to your clients. And actually, we're always available, as Vendasta is, to help you with that. But here's some 4 unique things that you can use to help you and help your clients understand how valuable this product is. One, compared to other applications, we are truly all-in-one for the most part. We have 2 packages, but we don't nickel and dime on feature sets. For the most part, outside of a couple different things, recurring billing, and I believe split shipping is one. We'll get into that in a second. Everything is included there. So all the feature set is included in both applications, or excuse me, both editions that you purchase. And there are no additional fees. Right now, there's no transaction fees. So that's different than some of the major e-commerce companies out there. The application also is completely customizable, and that's very unique compared to some of the other applications out there. So you have the ability to customize not just the front end and the design to get it to match the branding, but you have the capability of managing the feature set that is out there and modifying that feature set. So you have the ability to dig into the PHP code if you need to. We've had a lot of, especially large clients that will maybe move or you know, try something else, but they'll come back to PinnacleCart because they have the capability of doing this. You know, their business model is very unique, and they need to modify that code base to make sure that the application functions in a certain way to meet the needs of their business model. And you have the capability of doing that within our application. From day one, which was one of the unique things about application, or excuse me, about PinnacleCart, is we've been marketing focused. So I think I've alluded to this at the beginning of this conversation. Everything that we build into there is designed to increase that product exposure and get as much exposure as possible, and also increase conversions and increase the average sale amount for those customers. Now, one of the other unique things that you can do with PinnacleCart, which is important to, I'm sure, many people on this call, is you have the capability of building services around the application. And I'm actually going to get into that in the next slide, but you can actually offer design services through your agency if you like. You can offer development services and marketing services. And that's why this is really such a complete partnership with Vendasta, because what you can do is use PinnacleCart as kind of the starting point for all these additional services that you can sell using the Vendasta marketplace or on your own. So PinnacleCart is really that great entry point to introduce your clients to those other types of services, whether they be design and development, store management, support, live chat, marketing services, search engine optimization, for example. You can sell PPP services or PPC services, you know, anything, content development, stuff like that. Once you get them onto the platform, everything can be sold because they will need those sort of things to achieve success with their business. All right, so what I want to do is spend a little bit of time, and I'm looking at the clock, and we have very little time, going through some of the major screens within our application. We can't really demo it. The demo, we can, but the demo acts just like any other e-commerce storefront that you've used. But what I wanted to do is get into the control panel and show you just how kind of easy it is to add products, maybe, change some of the colors and stuff like that on your store. But before I do that, I wanted to just give you an idea and a sense of what you can build on the application. So these are just 4 random storefronts that I've grabbed, and they're quite different, all of them on the front end, but all of them have been built on PinnacleCart within the back of the application, or modifying it slightly to get to this point. So what I'm going to try to do now is hopefully this all works from a technical perspective, and I'm going to try to get into our administrative area. So this is our dashboard. So when you first log in, you are going to see the dashboard, the important aspects, so you can understand exactly how many orders have came in. Of course, you're going to be notified via email when an order comes in, but you can kind of see your running totals for the month, for the week, for the day, whatever it may be, and how much revenue you generated. So one of the things I wanted to show you is the order management area. So here you can see all the orders that have come in. These are all test orders, clearly. What I can do is I can click on that order, and it is going to show me what has been ordered, the shipping method, what the status is. I can print the packing slip. I can update the status. I can put it into return inventory. So everything is you have the capability of doing here. I can edit the shipment. I can edit the transaction details, or excuse me, view the transaction details, not edit them. So that's all here. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick is the product areas. So here's some of the products that we've added. And here's where you manage those products. So it's important to note the screen can be a little daunting, but there's really only 2 or 3 required fields here. And that is, the product ID, which we need to manage those products. The description and the price is really all you need to do to have the product appear. But you have the capability of adding as much as you want to that. So I can add in sales pricing, taxes, I can make it a stealth product, weight, dimensions, can put that all in there. I can add in my primary and secondary images. I can make it so that that product appears in one category, but also appears in another category. And I can do that with an unlimited number of products. Is it a tangible product? Is it a virtual? Is it a digital? Who the manufacturer is? Here's some of the search engine optimization features. I can add in my attributes, create product promotions. And, the list goes on, as we talked about there in the front end of the application. So is there anybody that wants to see, because I know we're running out of time here, is there any particular screens that you want to see in the back of the application? Or I would really like to spend this last 10 minutes seeing if there's any questions that Jeff or myself can answer to help you better understand our product.
Let me see here. White label feature is one of the answers. Yes,
is the short answer. We do have the capability of providing you with a white label within the Vendasta application. Just you can reach out to me or Jeff directly, or you can reach out to our support team, or the Vendasta, the people. But we do have the capability of doing that. We reserve it for particular volumes and things like that. But whatever we need to do, would start by opening the conversation, and we have the capability of doing that, though.
All right. So I don't think we have any answers right now of what they want to see.
Okay.
In terms of tabs. So why don't we just hop on directly to the questions that have been asked. All right, let's start with, can all product features be uploaded in bulk?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to just show them an export and an import, that'll be a very quick demonstration and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I don't have the spreadsheet with me, so I can't
no,
do that.
let's just go to browse products and export it. So here from Browse Products, when you see them, you can select one or all, and you can see above, you can actually select categories and statuses. But once you've done that in a bulk action, you can export. And when you reach this screen, you can actually choose to be selective about what you want to export of the product. Go ahead and just click on a few random ones, Craig, and then we'll just export those.
Some of these aren't going to have all these things, but I would.
Yeah, and then go ahead and export that. And once that comes down, let's launch that into a spreadsheet. So you can see you can quickly make any of the editing changes that you need here. And just for the sake of brevity, let's go ahead and close this, Craig, and then let's upload this sheet back again so they can see after the changes have been made how the import process works. So in the upper right-hand corner, click import.
I haven't done this before, Jeff, but you can do this. You would click on the import, and then you would select that file, and then you would go ahead and upload it back in. Any spreadsheet that you have, it will work here. So you have the capability of selecting, what category it is, and then move that category and tell it, this category is a product ID or this category is pricing or anything like that, and then you'd simply upload that and move it back in.
All right, sounds good. I mean, if any of our partners are interested in doing that moving forward, there are a lot of resources that teach you exactly how to do this mock upload. So let's move on to the next questions. We have about 9 minutes, so I'm just going to go to the most commonly asked questions here. So what is the biggest difference between PinnacleCart and Shopify? We have a bunch of questions here regarding that.
Great. Those are great questions. The biggest difference is if you've ever got into Shopify and started there at their base level, it's not a very functional application. It is a little bit of a nickel and dime operation to get you to it. And what we find is the clients that have moved back over to us from Shopify are usually spending upwards of $250, $300, $400 to get to the feature set that they need to run their business. And on top of that, Shopify is usually taken 1.5, 2% of the transaction fees. So it becomes very costly to run Shopify. At the base core set, we're all the same. But what we do is we have all those feature sets, the 400 features that, and part of them we discussed here, included within our application. So it's one price, you get everything. And that's kind of the benefit of being a private company versus a public company. One of the other differences is we have the capability of customizing our application, where in Shopify there is just certain things that you can't because of the way that the technology is set up. So everything within a PinnacleCart is fully customizable to meet the needs of the merchant. So that's another thing too. And obviously the marketing capabilities, you don't quite have the strength in Shopify that you're going to have within PinnacleCart out of the box from a marketing perspective. Jeff, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered those. I mean, the only thing I think that really harkens back on one of your previous slides is the reason we've included a lot of these feature sets is we want the business person that's conducting all their online transactions to focus on the business. And this gives us an opportunity to provide the support where it's needed. Instead of nickel and diming them on actual add-ons, we like to work with our customers on the services that are going to help grow their business, and that create a good MRR for ourselves, which you as resellers of the application and working with your customers will benefit from, right? They're going to come into this with a lot of inclusiveness in feature sets, and then that lets you focus on actually working with that customer to grow their business.
Yeah, so that's some of the big differences. And we just, to me, it's really just these out-of-the-box features. Like here, I want to build a custom form. For example, I want to build a form that is a contact us page. Well, that's going to cost you extra money in Shopify. You're going to be able to do it here for free. So it's that's probably one of the simplest ways to look at this.
Or order forms. So we give you the ability to take products, whether they're hidden or visible, and build pre-done bundles, whether that's you're selling a seminar, or you're trying to sell tickets. Maybe it's a pre-release that you want people to purchase. You can build a custom order form very easily, publish it, share the URL, and you can even make that hidden so it's only accessible by a link. So it really can function as a landing page and a single page checkout all in one.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. I'm just gonna look for the next question here. Okay, so does PinnacleCart act as its own platform, or can I embed this into a client site that is already live? I think I've also gotten a few questions around this
Sure.
from before we launched. Yeah.
Sure. So there's a couple different approaches. It can act as its own platform. So you can build additional pages, you can build content pages around that, and you can do that all through the application here. If, for example, the client that you're talking about already has something built on maybe a WordPress or some custom pages, what you can do is you can use this to just complement that. And what we can do is make it so that we can put that into a /shop directory or something like that, for example. And then you can just have your shop link at the top of the main site, and they can move into PinnacleCart. So in those instances, which we do have a lot of clients that run that way, we just match the look and the feel of the existing site to PinnacleCart, and they can just link back and forth between the two applications. Obviously, we know this is going on, but to the customers, it's absolutely and completely seamless. And sometimes what customers do is they'll add a little bit of code snippet, for example, so that cart can appear on the front end of the main site to make that work. So it's not an unusual configuration. And that's one thing that I wanted to mention too, is when you build your store on PinnacleCart, there is no subdomain stuff that's going on. We use true domains. So what we do is encourage people to go off and get their domain, so it can be craigstore.com or whatever it may be. Though we can set it up onto a subdomain, for example, in this instance that we're talking about here. Jeff, did you have something to add?
No, I think you covered the three basic areas that we need to. And obviously with customization, we can do a lot more. We've done JavaScript where we pull in attributes needed for technical sites where they have a lot of upfront brochureware, but they just need a simple add to cart button with a little more robustness. We can do that. And really, if you dream it, we can build it at the end of the day. I think the three methods you discussed will work for the majority of folks. For a high transactional site where they have a discrete amount of products and they really want that custom integration, we can support that too.
All right. Another question. Let's see here. Is there a maximum number of products? So one of our agencies has clients that have 800 SKUs in various sizes within each SKU. So yeah, is there a maximum number of products that
the maximum number of products is 999999999. It's as many as you want.
Sorry, we have two editions here.
That's true.
The first edition supports 2,000 products into the application, and then the second one is unlimited. So in the case of the instance that you're talking about there, that could still fall into the startup edition, which, by the way, the feature set between the startup and the advanced is listed in the Vendasta site. So that one could go for we're still figuring out if it's 79 or 74 that will fit into, or you can move into the 199 edition, which is unlimited products.
All right, sounds good. And with that, I think we're out of time. We have a lot of questions. So what I'm going to do is after this webinar, I'll immediately send over these unanswered questions so that Jeff and Craig, we can sort of figure out the answers for this, and then we'll send this out directly to everyone who asked the questions. So thank you to our audience for being so engaged. I know PinnacleCart is a very complex product in a good way, of course, like lots of features here. So I understand that you have all these questions, but I'm so sorry that we can't answer them all live today. So yeah, I do have a lot of follow-ups to do after the webinar. And to Craig and Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time. I know Craig is in a location which is like, we started at 3 a.m. So thank you for being with us and for, letting us know all about PinnacleCart.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great day, and we appreciate your time today.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next week for the next Vendasta webinar.